In order to use a grid properly, number one, you need to make sure that your visual is properly gridded with even squares. And then you also need to make sure that your paper is properly gridded with even squares. The other thing I want you to check to make sure is that you have the exact same number of squares across the top on your photo as you do your paper, same for the side. If that's the case, then you are ready to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm doing the whole box. Okay, I've numbered them. I'm going to really, really, really lightly do that here so that I don't get confused. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you have a border, you can put your numbers up in the border and not on the square, but I do not have a border, so I've got my numbers across. You probably can't even see them in the camera because they are so light. This grid is going to end up getting erased, and so we want to make sure that all of the grid and all of the numbers are light enough that we can erase it when we're done. We don't want anyone to see that we used a grid format. I'm going to label the side with my letters. So 1 and A is the same box. B, C, D, G, H. So I have it down to H, have it down to H. So I've got my paper prepped and ready, and we're ready to go. My boxes are really, really light. I'm going to take an eraser, and I am going to just take this one box up here, and I'm going to erase and make sure that my grid comes off. Okay, if it comes off, I'm good to go. If it doesn't come off, then that just means that you're going to have to probably shade a little darker in those areas in order to compensate for your grid showing up. Okay, here is extremely important in drawing from the grid. Always, always, always photo, finger on your photo, pencil on your paper. I'm going to say it over and over and over. Finger on your photo, pencil on your paper. Wherever your finger is, your pencil is. So if your finger moves, your pencil moves in the exact same box. The other thing I want you to remember is that you are not drawing an eye or whatever your visual is, whatever your photo is, you're not drawing that. You're drawing shapes and lines that make up the picture. Okay, shapes and lines. That's what you need to focus on. Shapes and lines. Okay, the other thing I want you to remember is when you're drawing from your grid, do not just make it look good. Okay, if you're drawing it and you're like, ooh, that doesn't look right, I'm going to erase it and I'm going to adjust it. No, follow the grid. Okay, follow the grid. If it doesn't look right and you followed the grid, then it will show up on the final that it will look right at the end. I promise. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what box you start in. I like to start in the top left corner because I don't like to drag my hand across my drawing. So I'm going to start somewhere up here at the top and then work my way down. So I'm going to pick box 5, and I'm in box 5, and I'm also in the first row, which is letter A. And I'm going to put my finger in box 5 and my pencil in box 5. And what I'm noticing is that there is a bottom line here. This is a shadow. I can draw that shadow in there if I want to. Right now, I'm just going to draw the bottom of the shadow. So I see this as a big shape, okay? I'm going to draw the line underneath. And so I see that that line starts at the bottom of the box, okay? So I'm going to start here. My finger's there, and I can see that that line starts about right here. I'm going to press kind of hard with my pencil so that you can see it in the video. I don't wanting you to press hard, but I'm going to press hard so that you can see it in my video. And I'm going to come across, and I can see that that line is here on that box. And then I'm going to come down, and I see that that is here. And then I'm going to come down, and I see that the box or this line starts here. So all I'm doing, I'm not even looking up. I'm keeping my head down the whole time. You can see that I am in box C, row C, box 2. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to just keep going. Kind of came out a little bit. That's kind of a weird shape there. So now I see that the I just follows this and then comes down kind of here. So it's kind of like a weird line. Oh, Mrs. Braun, that does not look right. That does not look like an I shape. Well, guess what? I followed the grid. I know I followed the grid, so I'm not going to touch it. It looks exactly how the edge of that shadow is right there. Comes down right there. So I'm going to stop because my line stopped. Now I feel like I'm going to come over to row 2 because I want to start here with my eye and come around. I'll come back up and I'll finish that here in a little bit.